Yeah, just when you thought it couldn't get worse for the Democrats, ladies and gentlemen, look what we found about Adam Schiff. And boy, oh boy, it's about to be a big week in politics coming up. Records now show Adam Schiff financed $1.7 million Maryland home as principal residence. California Representative Adam Schiff is facing explosive allegations of mortgage fraud, voter fraud, and election misconduct spanning nearly 20 years. Do we smell another indictment? Now we know what's going on with Letitia James, right? And by the way, this is all like coming out of from like investigative journalists, right? We know that Letitia James was caught up by Sam Antar out in New York, who is an investigative journalist. Now, more journalism is coming out, and we are finding some crazy stuff, and we might get another FBI probe here. But first, a bombshell report by Chris Bish and Darren Ellis reveals Schiff declared his Maryland home as his primary residence since 2003, while continuing to vote and serve as a congressman from California. Ladies and gentlemen, we got here from Red State VIP. We got shock. Records show Adam Schiff, excuse me, financed $1.7 million home. So this is the article. You can find all of it here. And it gets even crazier because once again, there is a lot of investigative journalism. And now you see that the investigative journalism against Letitia James has now led to an investigation and is now like this is everybody knows about it, right? Especially when this is what they tried to get Trump on. They tried to take everything away from Trump on these mortgage fraud charges. Anyways, here we go. So, and here it is: bank records, voter registration records, and whistleblower confirms beyond the shadow of a doubt Adam Schiff is guilty of perjury, voter fraud, and mortgage fraud, violating both state and federal law. This complaint, and I quote, this complaint has been submitted to multiple U.S. House agencies and to the House Judiciary, House of Ethics, House Oversight Committee. And it's true, Adam Schiff has been checking the box principals residents on multiple mortgage applications in 2 different states, which is a major violation. Now, what's different about this? Well, we saw results of what finding stuff will get you. An FBI probe against an attorney general, it's a huge deal since we got investigative journalism. A lot of people are like, well, this is going to lead to nothing. No, we got an investigation going on against Letitia James because of what someone found. So now, and that's an attorney general. This is a congressman. This is a man who is as corrupt as they come. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy's more corrupt than you can possibly imagine. And here's the proof. Adam Schiff, by the way, I said congressman, he's a senator. Let's correct that there. I want to correct myself there. I'm getting too carried away here, reporting on congressmen and women who went into, of course, the ICE detention center. I just finished reporting on that. So yeah, he's a United States senator who is, again, right here, caught doing fraud. So let's go into it. There's more, but I kind of want to go here real quick to get you the report. You know what I'm saying? Because the report is everything. And here it is, fine point. I want to make sure that we watch this together. No California love for Adam Schiff.
One such bog dweller, it should come as no surprise to anyone, is chief Trump-hating, failed Hollywood scriptwriter, California Representative Adam Schiff. Veteran investigators Christine Bish and John Stubbins filed an ethics complaint last week alleging that Adam Schiff committed fraud and perjury by declaring both his homes in California and Maryland as his primary residence, thereby violating state and federal laws, so they say. Now, many lawmakers keep a place in Washington, especially if they represent a state from far away, like Schiff does. But only one of their homes can be considered their primary residence. And if you're a lawmaker, your primary residence must technically be in the district you represent. Makes sense. But if you keep 2 primary residences, you are able to manipulate the system, get lower mortgage rates. And this is exactly what Bish and Stubbins allege. This story emerges as Schiff runs for the U.S. Senate against a backdrop where California homelessness has hit record highs and cost of living has driven Californians out. The ethics complaint lists apparent discrepancies in Schiff's voting record, where Schiff claims both homes in Maryland and California as primary residences between 2002 and 2013. The hypocrisy is glaring. Just this year, Adam Schiff's Democrats pushed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. off the ballot in New York over his debates about his various residencies.
Oh my God. The irony. Oh, the irony in the world of politics is so crazy. Look at what we found. Look at what we found.
Would they dare hold these same standards up to Adam Schiff? Joining us now to discuss the exclusive details is best-selling author and investigative journalist Seamus Bruner, author of Control Oligarchs. Seamus.
Again, I go back to investigative journalism is winning big time. They're not losing, they're winning because they're coming up with the proof. And if there's ever been an administration ever to take investigative journalism serious, it's this administration. Because we've seen things come out before. Things have come out. Maybe you guys can think about many things that you saw, throughout the years that you were like, wow, this person brought in some great proof. This person investigated this and there was some good stuff that maybe while Democrats were in power, they just brushed it off like it didn't exist. But not this time. This time it feels different. And the more popularity that something gains, the more people pay attention to it. And I'm guessing that's why Letitia James is now being investigated. There's a probe. She's all over. An investigative journalist by the name of Sam Antar, right, investigated. And by the way, this is the same thing that they're investigating Letitia James for. This is the same thing they said that Trump did that was bad. These people are literally manipulating the system. I've spoken about, look, both right and left do this, right? We're watching a movie of the Uniparty, how they collapsed. Because the Uniparty is a real thing. You don't think the Republicans knew about this? You don't think Republicans do it too? All these people do it. They're all in bed with each other. Want to know who's not in bed with them? Investigative journalist. But here we go. Let's listen out. Let's listen to these details.
Welcome back.
Hey, Chanel, it's great to be with you. Yeah, Adam Schiff is in a world of trouble if the legal system is fair. I know that this complaint has been submitted to multiple U.S. House agencies and to the House Judiciary, House Ethics, and House Oversight Committee. And it's true, Adam Schiff has been checking the box principal residence on multiple mortgage applications in 2 different states. You can't live in 2 places at once as your principal residence, and mortgage fraud is a serious crime.
Walk us through the timeline for this. I know that this is coming from a variety of documents that are, verifiable through public records, but walk us through the timeline here. Where do we start?
Yeah, so this all starts really around 2001, between 2001 and 2003. Adam Schiff is from California. He gets elected to Congress, and then he starts commuting, like you laid out in the intro here. He then sells his condo in Burbank, California, and buys a place in Maryland. And so on that box of his mortgage application in Maryland, he checks, this will be my principal residence. But then he buys a condo in Burbank, and then he checks the box, this will be my principal residence in Burbank. And so when he's checking these boxes in Maryland, principal residence, he's potentially committing voter fraud in California, because throughout 2006, 7, 8, and 9, his voter registration documents say he's living in Burbank. And so he goes back and forth checking these boxes all the way up through a refinance in 2013 of his Maryland property, saying that this is my principal residence. And so it's just, it doesn't make sense. How could you be living in both places at once? And I'm glad you mentioned the financial benefits. It's not just the lower mortgage interest rates. You get a lower interest rate on your primary residence. It's also the lower property taxes. You get a homestead exemption. It's also, you get lower insurance rates on your primary residence. And then there's also the federal tax returns with the mortgage interest deduction. And so there's all kinds of financial benefits for doing this. It's not clear whether Adam Schiff got sloppy or greedy, possibly both, but this is a big problem. There was a conviction of a Baltimore State attorney, Marilyn Mosby is her name. She was convicted for mortgage fraud for a very similar.
Wow. So we already have, if this was to go to the courts, we already have a conviction with the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are watching a movie here. And 4 years, again, you heard they kicked RFK off the ballot for this similar reasons. Man, how it's all come. It's literally all coming back around. Now, if you guys want to watch this whole thing, keep up with this. Make sure on X to check out this post. I'll try to leave a link, and maybe the moderators can leave a link here. But yeah, real Rob N, real_Rob N. He has the post. He posted everything. Here's the proof. Again, investigative journalism. This is to the House Ethics, Oversight, and Judiciary Committees. This is it right here. This is all the paperwork. This is all the proof that they have. And it's about to get real, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get real. Yeah, this is all the forms right here. All the forms, all the proof. They sent it out, and we'll see exactly, what's going to happen here, because obviously, it's been announced. Letitia James is being looked at. There's an indictment that is about to happen. Many legal analysts are waiting for the investigations to be over. You know how it starts. They start to interview, these lending companies. They start to interview, and start to basically subpoena, not interview, but throughout the subpoena, they interview and they talk to people. They get either all the information, they gather all the proof that they want and need, and then they indict you. I don't even know how to explain this, because how do you explain to a Democrat that literally what these people were accusing Donald Trump of, they're guilty of, and it's all coming out? The timeline is right here. Holy moly, holy moly. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Yeah, it's about to get real. Prepare yourselves for this.